We must keep our eyes open always and actively look for opportunities to learn from everyone, including people we know are flawed and even evil.
Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me.
What's up, freaks? Welcome to another episode of the Steve Eckert Show podcast. And today we're going to talk about something I wish I would have taken a little more serious earlier in life and haven't probably until just the last maybe decade and a half, maybe 2 decades. Yeah, probably 2 decades. And that is learning. Probably, and really before we even get into it, probably because I was in the wrong environments for learning, like school and whatever else. But we're going to talk about learning and dedicating your life to being a lifelong learner. They say leaders are learners, and you've got to be constantly never-ending pursuit of new knowledge, expertise, information, getting even smarter, even better every day. That's self-mastery as a man. That's what we're going to dive into here on the Steve Eckert Show podcast, which is a show on how to flip the switch and have a no excuses, badass mindset, guiding you to adapt, overcome, and destroy the obstacles that are preventing your success in your mindset, your family, your fitness, and your business so you can stop being a little bitch, get your shit together, and start living life on your own freaking terms while you create your own personal ideal freak freedom lifestyle. And learning, so what is learning? Well, first you got to learn to weaponize everything. Learn to weaponize your failures, the tragedies in life, the victories you have, your obstacles. Learn to weaponize your weaknesses. When you can start doing that, first of all, not only do you get better, do you learn, do you move a step closer toward the journey of self-mastery, you become bulletproof when you can weaponize your weaknesses, when you can learn from everything and flip everything on its head and take the positive side of everything. This helps you just to flip the switch on how you think and operate in your mindset, your family, your fitness, and your business. This is exactly what having a lifelong of learning. And if you're looking to doing a little extra learning, check the link down below for the Freak Mode 40. It's a free 40-day daily discipline habit challenge. I guarantee it will change your life. It's an absolutely free, a full course. You'll go there, click the link, you create a username and log in. You start your 40-day challenge today, and you have a new module unlocked, challenging you, pushing you, and pressuring you to get even better and continue your journey of lifelong learning, just like we're talking about here. So let's talk about it. First, I like to always start off with a quote. There's a quote, and I don't remember who said this, but he said, we must keep I think it's a Stoic quote. So Stoicism, they all can be given to, there's so many different people it could be really when it comes down to it, but we must keep our eyes open always and actively look for opportunities to learn from everyone, including people we know are flawed and even evil. Think about that. To learn, that's really learning from everyone. Even people that are flawed and evil, you're learning from them. You're learning about human nature. You're learning about how people operate. You're learning how people respond and react to different situations. It's just a reminder to learn from all the experiences and all the people, even the people you might not agree with. You probably can learn even more from the people that you don't agree with. Because if you're just learning from only like-minded people, you're just relearning and regurgitating the same old. You need to learn and diversify your freaking learning and brain's portfolio when it comes down to it. And if there could be a tagline to this video, and now I think about it, like we always have to come up with what we're going to put on the thumbnail, is don't be a fucking know-it-all. Don't be a fucking know-it-all. And don't be so closed off. Be more open-minded to new ideas, new ways of doing things. Like we started homeschooling our kids. We call it home life, and we started homeschooling our kids now 2 freaking years ago. And we were not doing it. We didn't think it was possible, and it was the next level in our learning as parents, as leaders. It was the kids' next level of learning in what life is like and how to operate as a free human in this world and not in the chains and confinement of the freaking modern day educational system. Like learning, like that was our next level of learning when it came to learning. And it was opened up so many eyes, and we've learned so much in this process of homeschooling. But also learn from other people. Learn from other people's courage and bravery. Like I recently just did a no excuses experience. It's a men's mentorship mastermind event I did right here at my house, about 2.5 days. And we spent every second of the days together. They all stay right here. We put some tents out and we have a huge dirt lot in the back. We set up a campsite there and we did 4 workouts per day and tons of learning and teaching, and went through all of our habits and routines throughout the day. We taught them, implemented them, and then evaluated them, did a debrief on each section, got a ton of done in 24 hours, probably more than these guys were getting in a week or two. And we did it in 12 to 24 hours. I wouldn't have done that event first. My wife first did a women's event here. It wasn't the same type of event. It was a little bit different. It was only a 1-day thing. They weren't sleeping here and all this other crazy stuff that we were doing, but it gave me the idea to see what she was doing and said, you know what? I could do the same thing. So I learned from her, not being a know-it-all, not being so closed-minded and seeing her do it and be like, oh, that's stupid. Why are you going to have an event in our house? Like we purchased this house that we have here in Southern California, specifically the way it's designed and the way it's spread out and the amount of space we have was specifically to do events. And we were here for 2 years and I didn't do any kind of event. I've done workout events and fundraisers, but not something like this, like an actual paid overnight event here. And that thing went so freaking smooth. And so it was an awesome event. Tyson helped me run the entire thing, my son, and it was a learning experience doing that. But also I learned from my wife to go and do it. She's like, she's going to do it herself and whatever. If it's one person that shows up or 100 people that show up, we're going to make it happen. So learn from everyone. Learn from the people around you that you might think you can't learn from. You think you're a know-it-all. Stop being a know-it-all. Stop being closed-minded. Go in with a little more open-mindedness, a little more curiosity in your day. That's why we started homeschooling, so we could teach our kids to think this different way of thinking. And just on the topic of homeschooling, and for some reason I wanted to look into some of the numbers and statistics. Do you know that homeschoolers make up now, it's up to about 6.73% of all school-age children from kindergarten to 12th grade. And you can't say those grades really because our kids are not in a grade anymore. They're just the ages that they are, and they're just learning life as we go along. So that's about 2.3. There was 2.3 million homeschooled kids in the United States in 2016, and up to 2.5 million in 2019, and then 2.65 million in 2020. And think that was just till 2020. I imagine it's probably close to 3 million by now, if not more, since all the Zooms and Coronas and lockdowns and all that other. Homeschooling is the fastest growing form of education in the United States. So I thought it was worth it to dig into some of these homeschooling statistics, since that was part of our learning process, how we went to our next level in our own education is starting to homeschool, because now we have to teach our kids life. We're not teaching them necessarily science and physics and mathematics, that they're the parts of those that they're never going to need. We're teaching them useful skills and strategies and tactics and way of operating as a successful, free-thinking freaking human that is governing themselves in this life, and how to think for themselves, how to operate, how to have discipline and energy and confidence and be an action taker and to be them freak selves. And a side note, for whatever reason, this popped up when I was doing the statistics. The states in the United States with the largest number of homeschoolers is Alaska. That one I could see. But then North Carolina and Nevada, which is pretty, I don't know how that happened out. That's a weird mix of states, but that's the 3 top homeschooling. I don't know, maybe they're in Nevada because their parents are just gambling all day. I don't know. Or going to the casino, so they just homeschool them on math and how to count cards. I don't know what it is, but whatever. And it makes sense that this is the fastest growing form of education, because you know what? American children in education are struggling. Like reading and math scores are at their lowest in multiple decades, while mental illness and absenteeism and bullying and all this other is skyrocketing at all-time highs in schools. And school teachers are just battling to even connect or reach out to the kids, because the kids are coming into school with these problems and families and lives, and then the teachers have to deal with 30, 40 kids at a time every day. Like, it's a pretty hard freaking job. Obviously, you give a lot of credit to the ones that are doing a damn good job of it, but they're also, then the teachers themselves are dealing with their own and their own problems in the world these days. And then you talk about understaffing and low salaries and limited resources. Part of all the reasons, and safety and concern and whatever the they start getting forced down their throat about what bathroom to use and all this other stuff. This is why we pulled our kids out of freaking school, or some of the reasons why we pulled them out of school. Another quote, another Stoic quote we like to throw them here on the show a lot is I think it's a Stoic quote. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man without trials. And this is basically saying to emphasize learning and growth that comes through hard shit, comes through challenges and difficulties and adversity. How you need to do hard because a gem can't get polished without friction. Doesn't get smooth and polished till there's a significant amount of friction and hardship and suffering, trials, whatever else you want to call it, to make that thing shine, to take that thing to the next level, to make that thing more valuable and successful. No man, another quote, no man is free who is not a master of himself, meaning you need to know, you need to learn yourself, not be forced fed down your throat. Learning and personal development, self-improvement are all keys to achieving this inner freedom we're talking about. And also like maximizing learning and leadership growth. Like that is the goal with our kind of homeschooling, and the importance also of learning from each other, from the people you're around, the people you surround yourself with. You should be around people who you can learn from and soak in knowledge and ask questions to and be uplifted by. And also people you can contribute to and contribute to the learning and learn shit yourself and go teach it to someone else. Learn from other people's successes. Learn from other people's failures. This is what learning is all about. Intentional learning from multiple sources. Multi-directional, meaning you're learning some, you're teaching some. You're learning something and then you go and teach it. You teach something to someone else that you just freaking learned. And this is, having this mentality is one of the most important things to success, in addition to networking, which was also a previous recent episode here of the show. And we talked about networking and building connections and all that other stuff. So learn from multiple sources, from every direction. 360 degrees of learning from your spouse, from your children, from people above and below in the hierarchy of your business. Learn from strangers, learn from books, learn from your own thoughts and experiences, your own and failures, your own wins and victories. Learn from it all. Take the golden nuggets, the aha moments, the breakthroughs, the good stuff out of each one of these things. Squeeze the juice out of everything you can. And intentionally learn from these different categories and reflect on learn from your past experience. And you can't do that without reflection. We talk about that pretty often. Learn something new from everyone you freaking meet. And again, don't be know-it-all. The chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control and which do I have the choices that I actually control. Again, a Stoic quote. And this is basically saying, distinguish in your head, like what you can control, that's your actions and deciding to learn from stuff, and what you can't. And learn from those experiences. Learn from what you can control and what you can't control. So I'm going to have some homework for you as a viewer of this podcast. I'm going to give you a couple of categories for you to go and learn something this week. Go learn something from your spouse. And if you don't have a spouse, from a woman. If you're a man or someone from the opposite sex, go learn something from a woman if you're a man, or your spouse. Go learn something from a kid, either yours or other kids if you don't have kids. Go learn something from someone young, a kid. We're talking a kid under 13 years old, an actual kid, not just someone younger than you. Then go learn something from people above you. And I know we're all equal, blah, 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 and a lot of the good, but someone above you, meaning in your chain of command, in your profession, career, whatever. Learn something from someone above you, a manager, a boss, the owner, an entrepreneur, whatever. But also learn something from someone that you lead, someone below you that you lead. Then go learn something from a stranger. Somehow figure out a way to learn from a stranger, whether you're just observing how people act and operate or asking someone a question. You see something interesting, be curious, go ask them a question, a complete stranger, whatever. Who gives a Learn something from a book. Not just reading a book, actually deep, intentional reading where you're learning and soaking something in and actually getting something out of it. Then learn something from your own thoughts, your own reflections, your own mind. And that happens with writing, with freaking journaling, whatever you want to call it, going and reflecting on your day, on your victories, on your wins, on your failures, writing about it, learning from it, and getting something out of every freaking situation. Learning, the importance of learning can't be overstated. It leads to personal growth. It's going to lead to strengthening relationships. It's going to lead to being more adaptable, having adaptability because you're open to new ideas and experiences and you're more adaptable and flexible personally and professionally. It's going to lead to just broadening your vision, your perspective, and not just being so closed-minded. And it's going to make you more open-mindedness, to give you more opportunities. It's going to open up more doors. It's going to give you more opportunities, more possibilities. It's going to fulfill your potential even freaking more if you commit to this lifelong learning. It's going to make you a better problem solver, refining your critical thinking, your problem-solving skills, becoming a solution maker instead of a problem maker. Being a lifelong learner is also, you're going to be role modeling the way for the people around you, for your team, for your kids, for whoever. Being a learner also will boost your emotional intelligence, your social intelligence, to have self-awareness, but also have social awareness. So how do we do this? How do we learn better? First, be more curious, ask more questions, ask more open-ended questions, have questions you know you're going to ask. This is going to tie right into that networking episode that I just talked about. But ask questions, ask open-ended questions, show up prepared with what you're going to be trying to learn, what you're going to talk about. Active listening, you've heard about it, like laser beam focus. Talking to someone, you're not thinking about what you're going to say next. You're not looking on your phone and checking your message. You're not looking at the door and looking around and fidgeting around, looking for a way out. You need to be deep into that freaking conversation to have a understanding of what's being said, and you'll probably learn something if you maintain that curiosity and open-mindedness. You're also, how do you learn? By reflecting. We already talked about writing, journaling, reflecting on your experiences, reflecting on other people's experience. Take the time to reflect on your day, every morning. Make it part of your morning routine, on your interactions with other people, on the decisions you made, the success and failures you had. Like, learn from everything. Again, I said, squeeze as much juice out of every situation and scenario you can to get the most for it so you can get even better. That means that, how do you do it? You continue to have this growth mindset. You know the book Mindset, about growth mindset, fixed mindset. Have this growth mindset where you see these failures as opportunities rather than setbacks. Napoleon Hill said that setbacks are stepping stones or something. Instead of just drowning you or whatever, they're just turn those into stepping stones. Turn those failures, those setbacks into stepping stones to get you to where you want to be. And ask for feedback, seek feedback. Regularly ask people above you, people below you, your peers, your family, your kids. Ask for feedback from other people, including your family members. So you can get different perspectives on you and not just the stories of the way that you think you are. And you think you're all great and high and mighty, whatever. And you'll learn a lot by getting feedback from people and asking feedback. Of course, reading and researching, you know about that. Like, you're going to learn from that, but don't just read. Like, use it. Think of it as smart time. We don't even call it reading. We call it smart time because you're sitting there with a pen, a notebook, a highlighter, maybe noise-canceling headphones on while you're reading the book, slowly rereading a paragraph, looking up words. The only time you're going on your phone is to maybe look up in Google Dictionary to go find a meaning of a word so you can understand the context of the sentence and actually soak it in. Learn real learning. Again, we said be an active listener. The only way you can do that is by being in those situations, being around people, having these meaningful conversations. You can learn things, being around different types of people so you can learn from every freaking direction. Get into new things, get into new hobbies, get into new activities, put yourself out there, put yourself in the fucking game and stay in the game, and you'll probably learn so much new shit. So learning continuously, lifelong, continuous dedication to learning, getting smarter, getting even better at everything you're doing. Of course, you can learn from other sources. This was by no means an exhaustive list, but this is just a start. So your homework, your goal here after watching this episode is to learn something new every day. Specifically, learn something from your spouse or woman, learn something from your kid or some other kids if you don't have kids. Learn from the people above you, learn from the people below you, learn from a stranger, learn from a book, and then learn from your own self-reflection of your own interactions and experiences. Put down the comments down below. What did you learn this week after watching this episode? After you watch it, I want you to come back and what did you learn this week? How did it help you? How did it advance you? How did it move you forward in this self-mastery journey as a man? Put the comments down below. I want to hear about it. Also, don't forget to check out the free Freak Mode 40-day Daily Discipline Habit Challenge down below. Completely free habit challenge course for you just for being a viewer of this show. I will see you next time on the Steve Eckert Show podcast. And in case no one told you yet today, you are freaking awesome. No excuses.
Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You